But yeah, like when you're in a shop area and you need to see what the heck you can sell, other than the pop-up, that pops up and shows you. You could also have the type command of list, and then it'll show you in the game screen in text form that you can, copy and paste or whatever. So that was the idea behind that. So here I'm gonna show you guys the exhilarating process of connecting lands here. So I'm in one room. If you guys played Chaos, you remember that Abrashamkar Mountains were connected to quite a few areas, and then this room here in particular is actually connected to Plains of Havoc or Hevak. And now that we have them into the game, I'm going to go ahead and connect these two areas.
Whosever idea was to make the notes of the new areas new edition, that's just awesome. I appreciate that very much.
Oh yeah, that was kind of a last minute thing that Mike did.
Well, thank you, Mike, because that's really a good idea. Now I don't have to struggle to figure out which are the new rooms.
Yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to the Echoes client real quick, because all the work that these guys did prior to Darkness Rises definitely helped a lot. So I'm going to open that up. I'm going to look at this room that I'm in here and then see if it's connected in their client. If it is, it makes it a lot easier to find. That's one way to do it anyway.
Yeah, about that. I have no idea if that particular room is connected. I hope so.
Okay, so here I'm going to paste the link to the Curse kind of community. That'll help you log in, download the client. So there's that first link. I know you'll hear my voice later, 10 seconds after or whatever I link it, but there you go. And then we'll also link the Echoes client if you guys haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I think there was actually an option to toggle pop-ups in DFC. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that you could do that. But I do remember there was sometimes a bug involved where if you drug it around too much, or you put it in the wrong place, or you closed it, or some weird kind of interaction with it, actually shut them off completely. I do remember that.
I'm curious, have we discussed pop-ups at all in Darkness Rises? I'm just curious if shops and things like that are planned to have pop-ups like in DFC.
Yeah, I think the general idea is to continue with the old style kind of user interface. So I'm pretty sure that we will continue with that. I don't see why not.
Good, because I like the pop-ups.
Yeah, especially for the bank. I mean, that's probably one of the vital tools to have, and to quickly get your, blade of ice in there or something.
Blade of ice.
Anyway, so there's 2 links in there in Twitch chat. I've got the Curse.com invitation to the Darkness Rises community on Curse. And then the second one is Olmoran.com, which is hosted by Daleth and Devilich. And that'll take you to the Echoes Through Time client, which is a PHP-based Darkness Falls Crusade, pretty much, as far as adventuring, walking around, a lot of fun things. Yeah, I feel you, Momo. I mean, I think we all had pretty standard equipment back then, and back then it wasn't that great. So I remember playing Darkness Falls, and then a few years later, in 1998, EverQuest came out, the very first one, and I remember I went to an EB, I think it's called EB computer store or something, electronics boutique, that's what it was. And how old was I? I was like 12. Yeah, I was like 11 years old, and I drove up with my dad, and we got like brand new copies of EverQuest and took it home. And I was playing, so I was at his house, and then when I went home to my other house in California, I had this Pentium 1 that I played Darkness Falls on, and it was absolutely terrible. I would like play the guitar, and I would listen to albums, random albums of my parents while I waited for zones to load. That's how long it took to freaking play anything on those old computers.
I don't know how we did half the stuff we did on those old computers. I mean,
Yep.
when you think back, you really don't remember it being that slow. But like just what you said, what you had to do to compensate to how slow it was, you practically had to learn how to play guitar.
Exactly.
I mean,
it was hilarious. You gotta I don't know. Just had to do other things and wait for the computer to catch up. The fact that those computers could actually load EverQuest, for how big that game was, it still
that's
is.
impressive.
$19? Nice, Mama. Those were some good times. I still remember the first day, the first moment I logged into EverQuest. It was the most surreal thing, because you had a chat room, like any MMO today, pretty much the same kind of chat room. People saying in the out of character channel, wanting to sell, WTS black bat wings or something. Because back then those were hot items, and so stuff like that was spamming my screen, and I was not visually prepared for the 3D experience at all. So I was, completely not understanding what I was looking at all, and I have very fond memories of that.
What sorcery is this?
Literally, yeah. I think the first character I ever made was a high elf, and I was walking around Felwith, or Felwithe, depending on however you pronounce it, and I had no clue. But I definitely stuck with it, and I played that for quite some time. All right, Valinor. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Enjoy your what's a good word? Your perverted. It's too easy. So enjoy your show. How about that?
Oh, that was nice.
Thanks, Valinor. Nice. That's pretty good, Mama. You resisted the World of Warcraft sensation, I take it. So that also came out that year.
I think I played Ultima Online before that. Then EverQuest. I mean, Ultima Online really didn't really count the way the EverQuest counted. But I didn't play EverQuest very long. And then I went to Dark Age of Camelot and played it for a little bit. Me and Bayla did that one together. We liked it. It was completely a brand new experience. It's just that, I don't know, something about that game just didn't feel quite right.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way too. Like it was interesting in a sense if you could kind of get to that core that was fun. Like it just wasn't overall like, oh my god, this is amazing. You know, it was very kind of, it was clunky for sure, even graphically, and yeah, it was just kind of, it's kind of a big miss. It was really popular, obviously, for a bigger community, but I think a lot of it just didn't really quite catch on.
They just had so many good ideas that were eventually used by other games that improved upon it.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm glad they existed, obviously. It's just something about that game was so lacking whenever you went to something like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft was amazing. It did everything right just about during the vanilla. I can't imagine another game that kind of rivals that in terms of how well it was done. I mean, not the bugs and stuff. God, right. I can't remember how many times I got stuck in Booty Bay on the boat whenever I was trying to go across the sea. You'd end up just like getting dumped out into a fatigue zone, and you have to just sit there and literally die.
Yeah,
that happened a lot.
That happened a lot in EQ too.
Did it really?
Yeah, that was you take and it was worse because it's an older system. So there was a boat ride from Freeport, which is the human city, and it would take you to this place called like the Sister Islands. Or like Ocean of Tears or something like that, and there were these islands that had like Cyclops on them, and it was a pretty fun little area. But yeah, like you would literally just disappear off the boat and you would drown, and it was a lot worse because running to your corpse was even more impossible in that game.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, if and I hate to be the devil's advocate, but there is an actual vanilla WoW server that's actually still running, and they have 2 servers now.
What is that?
It's called Kronos, and it's being hosted out of Sweden, I believe. So I heard, I think. Okay. So I was talking with my old guild actually from World of Warcraft from God knows how many years ago, and they mentioned it, and so I said, well, why is that one up and Nostalrius was shut down? And he said that Nostalrius was based off in France, and France just happens to be the headquarters for Blizzard International. So
there you go.
Yeah, so now I have the Swedish pirates that are able to continue their work. So I don't know, you can check it out. I've been tempted by it, but I've done it many times already before. I don't really, and I've got more important things to do. So.
Me too. I'll go ahead, Dale.
I was just going to say, I've never tried one of those unofficial servers, though I've always been kind of intrigued. But one thing that always has kind of stayed on my mind is, I wonder how they deal with exploits and things that the security issues and hacks and things like that. Because I mean, those things come out for the legit game, and they have a huge team of people working on that kind of stuff. So I'm just curious if they are just plagued with problems, or